Assalamu alaikum. May peace be upon all of you, my fellow learners and professionals. Interesting question we have here. Choosing between CIMA and ACCA. This is one of the most common questions that my students and my learning partners bring to me. Either those of them who've completed one of the qualifications want to complete the other because they have exemptions, sometimes just because they have exemptions. And many young learners, post-college students, would-be graduates looking to improve their arsenal of qualifications and wonder whether to go with CIMA or ACCA. And I did a little bit of research in YouTube. And for me, the pitch of how these YouTubers present you, how to choose between CIMA and ACCA was very incomplete. Now, that is what I'm hoping to address. Now, how exactly am I qualified to talk about this topic? Well, I've held membership with both these qualifications, CIMA since 2015 and ACCA since 2017. And also, I am a lecturer. I've been lecturing for both CIMA and ACCA since 2010. In fact, currently, my specializations are for CIMA, as you can see here, is with the strategic case study paper, the final paper, which even for the next session, I'm hoping to commence on the 3rd of July. So if you're a student who is taking the strategic case study exam, the session is free. You can drop by. Even ACCA, my specializations are currently with AFM and APM. I've already started work, as you can see here, for APM, Advanced Performance Management, targeting the September and December 2021 exam sittings. So that's exactly how my exposure, more than 10 years of operating in this industry has given me a lot of insights as to how this business works. Yes, business. So we are going to look at this video, or we're going to look at how to choose between CIMA and ACCA under 3 steps. So the first step is going to be the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth about certain things that you need to know. The first is both these qualifications will make you a qualified accountant. Whether you do ACCA or CIMA, you can call yourself a qualified accountant. What does that mean? If you do CIMA, it will make you a qualified management accountant. And if you do ACCA, it will make you a qualified financial accountant. Now, I know the terms management and financial are different, but end of the day, it's accountant. For ACCA, the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants is going to issue a letter. For CIMA, it's the CIMA body, or the AICPA, the combination, which now issues the CGMA designation, Chartered Global Management Accountant designation. You're going to hold a piece of paper that is going to be proof, to present to maybe job offers, interviews, other kind of qualification entries, immigration entries, right? You're going to offer this piece of paper as proof that you're a qualified management accountant. In terms of the outcome, it's not altogether very different. That you have to understand. Whether you do ACCA or whether you do CIMA, in terms of the final outcome, you're going to be a qualified accountant. So the difference is not very big. It's actually narrow. And if you even further focus on the syllabus content, all right, it's pretty much, and having been working with these syllabuses for more than 10 years, for CIMA, the entire foundation level without the economics and the law subject, and P1, P2, P3, F2, F3, MCS and SCS, right? Those are the papers I've taught. For ACCA, F2, F5, F9, P1, P3, the old syllabus, SBL, P4 and P5, right? So having taught all of this, I know these syllabuses inside out. And they are almost identical in terms of content. The only difference, main difference, stems from the idea that ACCA, when it comes to the electives, will take things a little further. After you do SBL and SPR, you have to move to the electives, P4, P5, P6, P7. It will take things a little further, especially in terms of tax and audit. All right, that's where the difference fundamentally arises from, except the little minutiae details that ACCA ventures further into with respect to the financial subjects. Now, in such a scenario, you have to make sure that nobody tells you that this qualification is much greater than the other. That is not the case. Okay, we will actually learn how to decide what the truth is. The truth leads me to the idea of popularity, because end of the day, the choice is dependent on which is popular. You're going to choose what is more popular, what is more recognized, right? Recognition, just a more official term for popularity. The popularity depends, this is really funny when you think about it, it depends on other factors, all right? What are these other factors? One of the most fundamental factors that not a lot of people talk about is your country, your base country where you are, and its history as a British colony, right? Did the British Empire, the Royal British Empire, colonize you? My country, yes, Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, influences into Hong Kong, Maldives, Singapore, Malaysia. There are traces of colonization. So these are the little seeds they planted and went when they went back to ensure that there were foreign remittances. Okay, of course, capitalism helped because the things that you learn in these qualifications are tools that you need to thrive in a capitalistic economy. Right? You have to learn compound interest, you have to learn derivatives, you have to learn hedging, you have to learn business valuation. How can you operate without that knowledge in a capitalistic economy, right? You can't thrive in Wall Street without that knowledge. But ultimately, it's the extent, even the African countries, Ghana, Bolivia, South Africa, Zambia, all of these countries, right? So that is a fundamental factor. It's a reality, it's funny, and it's a factor that you have to understand. It's important. The second thing is which actually was the first entrant to your country, CIMA or ACCA, who entered first and who has the bigger market share. The way the local divisions operate is actually as if it's a business. All right, it's unlike academia, unlike universities in your country. So market share is a major factor. If there are 1,000 graduates in the market, they always assess out of the 1,000 graduates, how many are CIMA qualified. They want to always increase this market share. So that will be a major factor in your country. Which qualification is more popular? One of the reasons that will determine that is this exposure. The third is the job market exposure. In how many industries have they been able to penetrate? In how many job lines, how many areas do they operate in? You know, recently even Islamic finance, CIMA ventured and ACCA ventures into Islamic finance areas. Right? That is to increase that exposure, increase the job market exposure, because in any industry line, you need CIMA graduates or ACCA graduates to increase the popularity. Number of local partnerships built with local professional bodies, it could be AAT, CA, schools, right, colleges and universities and companies. Right? How many partnerships? Normally, if you log into the local website, you can actually get a view on how many partnerships they actually have. Right? These partnerships, these little partnerships, like for example, there are different committees, subcommittees in local bodies, and these subcommittees operate with various initiatives. If you're a CIMA member, you might be able to connect through and get an interview or be part of a mentoring initiative. These partnerships are a big factor that increase the popularity of the qualification. So before you choose whichever way to go, you have to have a basic idea of how strong these partnerships are. And finally, funnily enough, all of these things will also be properly supported by the marketing power of the local administration body. Every one of these qualifications, CIMA and ACCA, have their respective local bodies established, local offices. So these offices are in charge of promoting the qualification within the country. So how exactly do they do that? What kind of exposure, what kind of tools they use are all very useful to have a grip of before you decide which qualification to get into. So we know the truth. We know how popularity of the qualification is determined. Now let's look at how to choose, the important aspect. The choice is not easy. It comes by hard work. You have to actually work at it. Okay, because me sitting in Sri Lanka, to an Indian audience member, to a Bangladeshi audience member, to someone in the Middle East, right? If you're from Saudi Arabia, if you're from Doha, if you're from South Africa, right? If you're from Zambia or Ghana, because I have audience members from all of these countries, right? Me telling you the condition of CIMA and ACCA in Sri Lanka does not fit your environment. I would actually be lying to you. So you should be very careful, because that assessment you have to do by yourself. So you have to research and assess the penetration of CIMA and ACCA within the following scopes. What are these scopes? These are the areas that you need to do a basic research on. By research, what I mean is talking to people, fellow professionals, seniors, previous graduates, and internet browsing. That's it. You have to spend, a few conversations and a couple of hours on the internet, get an idea on this. Number one, your country and the potential country if you're hoping to migrate. Maybe Australia, maybe the United States, maybe Canada. If you're hoping to migrate, maybe the United Kingdom. Even that consideration has to be taken into account, pulled together with your industry and your specific job line. So you might be in the logistics industry specializing in data analytics. You might be in the hotel industry specializing in food management, F&B. So you have to couple together the country or the potential country you're hoping to operate in, your industry and your job line, and see which qualification has better recognition, better exposure, better penetration in that area. In addition to this, you need to look at partnerships with local bodies, universities, and companies. This is very important because it could lead to additional benefits like interview placements, mentoring opportunities, right, certain conventions, etc. And this element, exemption routes. There might be, now you might be, for example, let's say you want to do a PhD in a certain aspect. For that, you need a master's. Now, to get your master's, you need to do a bachelor's. Doing a 3-year bachelor's or 4-year bachelor's is going to be very difficult, right? But you notice that CIMA or ACCA has a partnership with a local university where if you do CIMA, you get to do the final dissertation and you get the master's with CIMA itself. So now you have a shortcut. You have a shortcut to undertake where you can get the master's through CIMA, not spending 3 years or 4 years on a bachelor's, but spending maybe 1.5 years with a perhaps lower investment also. Then you take that route because that is the practical route for you to get to where you want. But you have to know where you want to go. Then you can decide. Just blindly walking, blindly doing the qualifications just for the sake of doing it, it will not help you. This is what I see happening the most, and this is why I'm making this video, because I want to stop that. If ACCA or CIMA is not going to add any value to you, or to your journey, or to your family members, or to your life, you might as well spend that time on developing a skill, learn a handcraft, something that you enjoy. Go camping, climb Everest. There's plenty of other things to do. Right? So you have to be smart about this. And very importantly, you have to look at local administration support. Give a call to the offices. Give a call to the local offices. Right? Do it a couple of times. Ask them. Ask them about support. Tell them you want to join. Look at how they communicate with you. Local administration support is very, very critical. I know situations where learners have given up the qualification because the support is minimal in certain countries. I know a few incidents, negative incidents locally also. And when exams go wrong, right now the exams are happening from home, sometimes you are unable to get through to the local office. Right? It could be for various reasons. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm saying that local administration support is very important in the registration process, especially in troubleshooting. When something goes wrong, you really need their support. Okay, so you speak to a few past graduates, right? You send a few mails, you make a couple of calls, you can get a good view on this. In certain Asian markets and the Middle East, I have a pretty good experience operating in those markets. I can help you as well. If you have any questions, just drop them in the commentary, or you can even reach out to me. Right? So this, and finally, just overall feel of it, the market penetration. And these are the factors that you need to research and assess to determine whether you want to do CIMA or ACCA. Right? And that is how you choose between CIMA or ACCA. I know that you might have started watching this video thinking, oh, by the time I finish this video, I will know what to do. It's not that simple. If it's that simple, then I'm doing injustice to you. I don't know your circumstance. I don't know what journey you want to take. I don't know what job line you want. I don't know what industry, what your aspirations are. I don't know which country you want to migrate. I don't know any of those things. Without knowing that, generalizing and giving you an opinion is not going to help. So you have to research and assess this and then decide whether you need to do CIMA or ACCA based on what is going to add the most value to you. Right? So on that note, just a reminder, I offer career guidance and mentoring and counseling services. So if you have your career to discuss, you're facing various challenges, you need an honest opinion, you need to run by your ideas, you need to make certain decisions, and you don't have an honest confidant, you can reach out to me, work with me. I support students and clients in this aspect, among other things. Simply drop an email to the email address that you see here, azman.branudeen@gmail.com. You can find it in the description section, and you can book a session and we can work together so that you can make your decision, the right decision. So on that note, I sincerely hope that this video helped. Make sure that you do some smart work and decide the right thing for yourself. Time is short. We have to be very careful what we do with it. God bless you, and may peace be upon all of you and your loved ones. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.